The sheriff chased Robin into Sherwood Forest. Robin laughed as he ran. He was so quick that the sheriff could hardly keep up. Hello, fantastic peeps! My name is Rachel and I hope that you've had a great day so far. I want to say thank you so much for joining me today as we count down to Christmas together. We're entering day 13 of our Advent Calendar series. So if you haven't watched the previous ones yet, feel free to check it out down in my description box below. Without further ado, let's head into today's story. Okay, our Advent Calendar is open up and we're going to find day 13. I wonder whose story are we going to be reading about today? And it's Robin Hood. This is quite an underrated film if you ask me. So if you haven't watched this film yet, I highly recommend for you to do so. Today we're going to read about Robin Hood titled Christmas for Everyone. Let's look at the description. When Robin Hood and his friends settle down to a Christmas feast, they realize not everyone is as fortunate as they are. So, the sly fox and his buddies come up with a plan to spread festive cheer throughout Nottingham. That sounds really nice of them. On Christmas Eve, a brave fox named Robin Hood and his spare friend Little John were roasting a goose and some chestnuts over an open fire. "A true feast," said Friar Tuck, a badger, when he saw the goose. "We did our best," said Little John. "It wasn't easy to get a bird on Christmas Eve, but good old Rob knows where to find things." Robin Hood laughed. "Johnny, you give me too much credit. The goose was a Christmas gift from the Sheriff of Nottingham. He won't miss one little bird. You should see the spread he's got over there." Friar Tuck shook his head. "Doesn't seem right. That old sheriff gets greedier by the day, by the hour." Robin Hood thought about what Friar Tuck had said. When they sat down to dinner with Toby Turtle, Robin noticed everyone looked a little down. "Something's not right," said Toby Turtle. Robin Hood nodded. He knew Toby was right, but he couldn't figure out what the problem was either. "The goose tastes great," Toby said. "It's just that—" "I know what it is, Robin," Little John said. He looked sad. "We took the day off to get ready for Christmas. The only thing we stole was—" "The goose!" Robin Hood cried. He couldn't believe he hadn't thought of all the poor people of Nottingham who didn't have anything to eat this Christmas. "The poor people of Nottingham don't have anything to eat?" Friar Tuck asked. He felt terrible. All day, he had gone around to the poorest families handing out small purses full of coins gathered from the collection plate. He hadn't thought to bring a Christmas feast to anyone. A single tear rolled down his cheek. "A Christmas feast is an important part of the festive season," said Robin. "And I think I know where we can find one at this late hour." Little John smiled. "Who deserves a feast the least?" he said. He knew exactly what Robin was thinking. "The Sheriff of Nottingham," Toby said. The friends set off through the forest on their sleigh. They were on their way to the sheriff's house. They knew he would have plenty of food to spare. When they reached the sheriff's home, they peered through the frosty window. Robin gasped at the sight before them. A Yule log blazed on the hearth. The tree twinkled with candles and gifts were everywhere. Steam rose from all of the food on the large dining table. "Look at all those gifts, all that food. I can think of a dozen families who would be grateful for just one item from that pile," Robin Hood said to Little John. "I'll go to the front door and distract the sheriff. Johnny, you take the men inside, bring the feast and presents out through the kitchen. Then load up the sleigh." Robin disguised himself as a blind beggar and rapped on the sheriff's door. When the sheriff opened the door, Robin said, "Money for a poor blind man on this wintry eve?" "Oh, you beggars, can't you give it a rest?" the sheriff said. "It's Christmas Eve and I'm trying to eat my dinner in peace." Such a bad man. Or such a bad wolf instead. The sheriff went to close the door, but Robin held it open. "All the more reason to spare something, kind sir," Robin said. "Now wait just a minute there," the sheriff said. "Haven't I seen that outfit somewhere before?" Robin shook his head, but the sheriff launched forward to grab the beggar and lifted his head. Then he saw the smiling face of Robin Hood. "I knew it," said the sheriff. "You can't fool the good sheriff of Nottingham." Robin smiled. He had tricked the sheriff plenty of times before. He wriggled free of the sheriff's grip and ran off. The sheriff chased Robin into Sherwood Forest. Robin laughed as he ran. He was so quick that the sheriff could hardly keep up. When Robin had put enough distance between himself and the sheriff, he climbed high into a tree. He carefully creeped out onto a thick branch to look out for the sheriff. He knew the evil man wouldn't give up easily. Robin heard footsteps crunching through the snow. He peered down and watched the sheriff run through the woods, calling after him. The sheriff searched for Robin, but he couldn't find even a footprint. "I'll get you next time, Robin Hood," the sheriff called as he ran. Robin chuckled and slid on to the ground. He had outsmarted the sheriff once again. Meanwhile, Little John and the rest of the men had taken the sheriff's gifts and feasts. They loaded their sleigh with brightly wrapped packages, roast turkey, and plum pudding. They even took a magnificent Christmas tree. Little John took hold of the front of the sleigh and started to run. Robin Hood soon caught up with his friends. "There's no time to waste," he said. "The sheriff is angry. We've got to get these gifts delivered before he takes them all back." Maid Marian, a kind young fox, and her lady-in-waiting, a cheerful hen named Lady Cluck, passed by the sleigh in their carriage. "Why, Robin Hood, what a merry surprise," Marian said, as the carriage pulled to a stop. Robin bowed low to the ladies. "Merry Christmas Eve to you too, Maid Marian," he said. "What are you ladies doing out this evening?" "I've been out delivering baskets to the poor," Marian said. "There are so many in need," said Lady Cluck. "We've just run out." Robin smiled wide. "It just so happens that I was doing the same thing. Let us share these gifts with you." The sheriff's Christmas trimmings were safely tucked into the carriage. "See you back in Sherwood Forest," Robin called as Little John pulled the sleigh off into the woods. He stayed to hand out the food and gifts with Maid Marian. When they finished, they headed for Sherwood Forest to join Little John and the others. Robin Hood couldn't help but feel that this had been a perfect Christmas. He had given plenty of food and a good cheer to the people of Nottingham. And he had the best gift of all, spending Christmas with Maid Marian. The end. Wow, that's a pretty short story. I didn't expect that. What do you guys think of today's story? Well, I do have a thought. Even though Robin Hood did a really nice thing, giving the poor a feast and gifts, we shouldn't learn from him to steal things from people, right? Well, this is a debatable question. What do you guys think of this? Do you guys think Robin Hood did the right thing? Thank you for joining me today once again. Even though it was such a short story, I enjoyed it as well. Now everybody, as usual, stay safe and healthy, keep your smile up and your heads high, and have a magical and fantastic day ahead. Bye for now, and see you tomorrow, guys.